horn works.
That sounds terrifying. I was like, that was the horn?
That was the horn. Okay, so I know where the horn is. Now we're looking for.
That was you?
That was me. That was pretty cool. Watch. Here we
Fire
go.
truck up there.
Let's see. All right. There we go. So when we score a goal, I'm a. Oh, hey, how are you? All right, good seeing you. Trying to see if I can stay out of trouble over here. All right, so got the score.
least want my free double stack and win.
Hey, if they win, you get.
And now, please help us welcome today's opening ceremonial kick
Yeah,
participants.
you
Chrissy County Commissioner Todd Tansler, and Tropics CEO Chrissy Comedy.
Hi.
Same apply. 40 U J.
I don't know why it's like. Okay, I got you.
It's a new chapter in the big book of Tropics soccer being written here tonight at the Lake Myrtle Sports Complex in Auburndale, Florida, as the Tropics SC make their debut in the United Premier Soccer League. Greetings all, and thanks for choosing to spend a few minutes of your time with us here at the Lake Myrtle Sports Complex as the Tropics SC get ready to meet Clay County Soccer Club. Clay County actually established all the way back in 1977 as we get the ceremonial opening kickoffs taken care of at the midfield circle. The Tropics and Clay County each have only played one game so far this year in the UPSL. The Tropics a 2-0 winner over the Institute FC up at Disney's Wide World of Sports Complex a couple of weeks ago in late April. Ricardo Diegues and Melvin Boateng getting the goals in that one for the Tropics. Clay County fell in their opener 3-2 to Golden Goal Sports. So both these clubs still very early on in the going in the UPSL season. And we'll talk a lot about the Tropics SC, the UPSL, and try and get you up to speed on what it's all about, why we're here, and what we hope the vision is for Tropics soccer in years to come. We know already this field come May 7th will be teeming with excitement as the U.S. Open Cup comes to Polk County for the first time in history. That with the Lakeland Tropics, the Tropics' second other, if you will, outdoor developmental team. They have been around for a couple of years now and qualified last year, in fact, for the Open Cup, but had to go on the road all the way to Texas and ended up falling to Midland, Odessa 3-0. So local fans here in Polk County and the greater Central Florida area a chance to enjoy the Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup, and we will certainly talk more about that as well, as that news just came down a few days ago and was very exciting for all the fans here. And the Tropics now, as an organization, more than 3 years old. They're Major Arena Soccer League Florida Tropics franchise, kind of the top of the Tropics soccer pyramid, as you will, if you will conclude their third season in the MASL tomorrow night in Orlando. But several of those players, and star players at that, suiting up for the Tropics SC tonight. And you can start the list with the Tropics' two best players over the last 3 years indoors and outdoors, really, for that matter, Ricardo Diegues and Victor Pereiras. This is the 8th year that those two have played together, going all the way back to their days in college at UT Brownsville. Diegues and Pereiras, the two leading scorers for the indoor side. This is Victor with it. Takes the shot, and that will go well wide. Be a goal kick coming up from Maverick Boring, the starting goalkeeper for Clay County tonight. Several other Florida Tropics players, including team MVP Hugo Silva, the goaltender, starting tonight here outdoors. Of course, these guys will all suit up 24 hours from now, as we said, in Orlando for the indoor finale. Although if you think it might be an advantage for the Seawolves tomorrow night, it won't be. Orlando is hosting Utica City tonight. So both these clubs, in essence, will be playing back-to-back nights. Here's Boateng. Gets it through to Pereiras. Pereiras, as the Tropics control, Pereiras unable to get the shot away. This is Maicon Franca with it, number 13. He'll reverse field. into the box and headed out of there. Now Boateng with a long attempt and didn't get much on it, and Boring makes the easy save. So we should probably talk a little bit about just what the UPS really is, since we are making our inaugural foray into the National League of over 300 teams. Long cross to the box, but nobody there for Clay County, and Silva will come out to start the counter. Of course, all of this, in terms of the Tropics organization, especially the two outdoor developmental teams. Here's Pereiras with it. He may make a bid from distance. He does, and again, that's high and over the goal. The long-term vision for the Tropics in terms of an organization and why they have two outdoor teams at the same time is USL League One. They would very much like to make that transition in the coming seasons to a fully professional USL League One team, either here at Lake Myrtle or perhaps in downtown Lakeland. The city of Lakeland has made public their vision and hopes that a 3,500-seat soccer stadium would be built in downtown Lakeland right next to the RP Funding Center. Here's a through ball to Diegas. Diegas in the box. Diegas shot. Goal! Well, almost the exact same start that the Tropics had a couple of weeks ago at Disney. Ricardo Diegas in the 5th minute that night gave the Tropics SC a 1-0 lead. And here tonight in the 5-minute mark, it's Diegas as well. Nice ball into the box, and Diegas making the run and beating Boring with the low shot. So Diegas picks up his 2nd of the year now. And we'll see how Clay County can respond to that. But a quick start, exactly what Coach Lucas Teixeira was looking for again here tonight. He got it in Disney a couple of weeks ago, and then the game just kind of settled down, and the Tropics controlled the play for the most part. The Institute FC put up a pretty good battle, however, and missed a couple of chances. The Tropics clearly had the better of the chances overall in that game, but they kind of went silent until Melvin Boateng's breakaway goal in the second half. Here's a ball in the box. There's a shot high and wide. That was Cody Burns letting it go from right about 15 yards out. Silva did not get a piece of it, so we'll get a goal kick upcoming here for the Tropics. Diegas was the Lakeland Tropics leading scorer 2 years ago in USL League 2 and was their 2nd leading scorer last year. He missed, though, about half the season, you may recall, half of the outdoor season with an injury, and then actually missed the first month of the indoor season with the same injury, finally diagnosed as a sports hernia, and really not been back to 100% until maybe just a couple of months ago. And you can see over time how his play has picked up. Indoors has 22 goals now in 17 games to lead the indoor side. This is Franco with it. Gets it in the middle of the field to Melvin Boateng. James Lee trying to chase it down in the corner for Clay County. It will go over the end line, and it'll be a free kick here for Clay County. Into the 8th minute, 1-0 Tropics on the goal by Ricardo Diegas. Boring sends it over the midfield line. Tropics will try and control on the far side and do. Get it back to Andrew Clare on the defense. He's the brother of Tropics player Matt Clare, one of the better indoor arena players in the league, had 56 goals in 58 games with the San Diego Sockers before this season over the last 3 years. San Diego, of course, perhaps the team favored to take it all in the MASL this year. Have only lost once and have not lost since the signing of Landon Donovan. Final weekend of the MASL is this weekend. Playoffs start Thursday night in Kansas City. Boy, there's a hard foul. I think that was Trey Weeks that went crashing in there. So the Tropics will get a direct kick here. A ways out. Don't know if they'll try one on frame here or do more of a set piece. We'll see. Carreras will be the trigger man. Whistle goes, and Carreras will serve it into the box. So he was looking for Diega's far post again, and Ricardo just missed it. Mentioned these two playing their 8th season together. They played their entire collegiate careers together in Texas at UT Brownsville, both from Brazil, but neither knew each other until they got to Texas, and have become best buds on and off the field. Started their professional careers with the Brownsville Barracudas of the MASL before both came as original roster members of the Tropics, Florida Tropics 3 years ago, and have been here ever since. Both played for the Lakeland Tropics outdoor team each of the last 2 seasons as well. This is Victor with it down low. Victor cross into the box, but nobody there. Ricardo trying to track it down. Diegas does get there. Diegas, though, can't control it. Still loose in there. Tropics try and keep it alive. Here's a cross into the box again, and that's just high. Another good opportunity for the Tropics. Braden Ammon, number 9, trying to create some space and an opportunity for Clay County, and they get the whistle and the foul.
Yeah, I don't know. We have to make a rule
And it'll be Cody Burns, I think, to put it in play, or it might be number 3 here, Landon Opp. We'll see. I guess it'll be Opp. Long ball into the box. Looks like Silva will come out to try and knock it away. Can't do it. And a shot is blocked in there by Silva. It's just a little late getting there and almost gave Clay County, actually did give Clay County a good chance. Now here's a deep ball into the Tropics end of the field again, but it is cleared out of there by Franca. Good recovery by Maicon Franca to get in there and break up the scoring chance for Clay County. Here comes the counter for the Tropics. On the left wing to Carreras. Carreras takes a look and will play it back out to Franca now. Franca will reverse fields here. 12th minute now, still 1-0 Florida on the goal by Diegas. Boateng with some pressure. Claire going to have to step up here. He and Ricky Prestridge collided there. Prestridge a little slow to get up. Garrettson Crane on top again now to Franca. Plays it off to Carreras, again looking for his buddy Diegas. Ricardo with a shot. Goes through our post, and the redirect in front just goes high over the crossbar. Great look by Diegas in front that time. And another near miss for the Tropics here early on. Was Corey Bright, who was set up by Diegas there and just missed. Opp with it. Gets it down into the corner to Braden Ammon. Ammon with the cross. And Silva will have to go high and knock it out of play, but it'll stay on the field. So Hugo having to extend there a little bit on the dangerous cross by Ammon. Silva, the Florida Tropics most valuable player this year. He's appeared in 23 of the club's 24 games, or actually 22 of the 23. The 24th will be tomorrow night. Assume he will be in there unless something happens here tonight. Here's Garrettson Crane coming back now for the Tropics. Gets it to Pereiras, takes a look in front, instead plays it back on top to Crane. Crane, a star player over at nearby Southeastern University. Another ball into the box, a little redirect by Dieguez, gets it to Pereiras, shot! Down hits the post, header, rebound goes wide by Dieguez. Again, the Tropics with a golden opportunity and just missed. I think Boring actually might have got a piece of that last one. It'll be a corner kick coming up here for the Tropics, their first of the game. Both clubs have actually had some scoring chances here early on, although mostly the Tropics so far. Nice crowd gathered here tonight at Lake Myrtle. Expect a big throng here on May 7th for the U.S. Open Cup game. Here's a long cross far post, and too tall for everyone, and it'll go out of play, and it'll be a goal kick here for Clay County. That'll be a historic night for Polk County soccer. Tuesday night, May 7th, right here at Lake Myrtle, 7 o'clock kickoff. ESPN will be in town to cover the game. First ever Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup game to be played here in Polk. The Tropics, the Lakeland Tropics, with their second straight appearance in the Cup. Here's a counter chance now for the Tropics, but Ott broke that up nicely as Pereiras and Crane had a little miscommunication here. You can get updated information, of course, on all the Tropics social media sites and at fltropics.com as we get closer to that date, about how you can get tickets and be part of the U.S. Open Cup experience. No Tropics fans really had that opportunity last year since Lakeland was sent on the road to play in Midland, Texas, of all places. Lost that game 3-0, but they will get a chance to redeem themselves on May 7th against really their chief rival the last 2 years in USL League Two, the Villages. The Villages SC, the Buffalo. You know they'll bring some fans down for that game as well, so it should be a great atmosphere, a lot of fun, and no bigger game in Polk County soccer history than that one, May 7th. So we hope to see you out here if you're in the Central Florida area. Pereiras cuts towards the top of the box, still with it. Little give and go with Dieguez. Pereiras with a shot, and good defensive play in there by Evan Parks to step in front of that one, or Pereiras may have made it 2-0. You can see how Pereiras and Dieguez just know each other so well, how they play off each other so well. You see it indoors, you see it outdoors. You've seen it several times already here tonight. Coming up on the 17th minute here, 1-0, still Tropics lead it. Pereiras with the corner. In front, goes through the box again, and nobody able to make any good contact on the orange and gray side, so it'll be a goal kick for Clay County. Florida, the only undefeated team in their division at 1-0, but they've only played 1 game. Everyone else in the division has played 3, at least. Some have played 4. So the Tropics will start making up some of those games. In fact, next Wednesday night right here at Lake Myrtle, a big showdown with St. Petersburg Aztecs. They are the current division leaders at 2-0-1. So the Tropics will get a big test right out of the box here next Wednesday when St. Petersburg visits. Intercept by Franca. Pereiras will settle it back to Garrettson Crane now. He'll play it all the way back for Lucas Monolaris. Good to have him back on the pitch. He missed a couple of months of the indoor season with a leg injury. In fact, his first game back after that injury was the outdoor win up at Disney on April 27th. Played the full 90 that night, which was very encouraging. Of course, Guilherme, the Tropics, Florida Tropics indoor leading scorer with his 15 goals over the first 10 games of the season before he got hurt. And again, was out a couple of months, came back and played about 15 minutes in the outdoor game on April 27th, then came back, scored against Kansas City on the 30th, and then got hurt again in that game. And he is not dressed here tonight. We would expect to see Guilherme later on in the season, and he will be fun to watch outdoors with that cannon left-footed shot, which was such a revelation to the organization this year after playing defense last year indoors and scoring just once in 17 games. Got moved up to the forward line because of all the injuries as Crane serves one into the box. Boateng couldn't control it. Once they moved Guilherme to the front line in the preseason, really out of necessity more than anything. All he did was just score goal after goal. Asked him about it at the time, and he said, well, in Brazil, his native Brazil, where he has played a lot of professional futsal, he is a forward in the futsal game. So expect later on this summer that Guilherme will definitely be part of the roster here, but he's still a few weeks away from getting back onto the pitch competitively. Served by Ricky Prestridge to the far side. Clay County will control it here. Good play by Monolaris to break it up. Still loose in there. And here's a chance by Prestridge, but he overran it.
Nice, bro.
So
Nice
Clay
touch,
County
bro.
with
Never mind us.
one of his
I would have brought that thing
better
down like
chances.
magic. It's called concentration.
Some good-natured ribbings from the fans here. This facility will actually seat about 800 with its bleacher seats, but a lot of folks, hundreds of them, opting to bring their own lawn chairs to ring the field tonight, sit on the grassy berm to the north. Real Chamber of Commerce kind of evening here in Auburndale, Florida. It's Lake Myrtle Sports Complex, the recreational gem of Polk County. Home to the Florida Youth Soccer Association. Their three-story office building and complex just behind the southern goal. And this place will be teeming with soccer activity all weekend. That's why a lot of the Tropics games are actually Friday night, not Saturday, because this complex is just filled weekend after weekend with youth soccer teams from around the state and, in fact, very often from around the country. Did not actually realize until the Tropics decided to call this home for the UPSL season that this was, in fact, originally a soccer complex. All the baseball and softball fields that you can see from the highway actually came after the soccer component. Ball into the box as Pereira's trying to track it down. Boring comes out, can't control it, had to let it go as he slid outside the box. Pereira's comes to the top. Pereira's with a long shot, and again, well high and wide. Pereira's has had several of those here early on as we're now into the 22nd minute. Still 1-0 Tropics, a game taking on very similar tones to the game up in Orlando a couple of weeks ago with that early goal by Diegas then in the 5th minute and the 5th minute here tonight. And then while the Tropics outchanced their opponents, they were not able to score until well into the second half again that night. Boateng with some pressure, and it'll create a turnover to Pereiras. Over to Boateng. Boateng might tee it up from distance, instead plays a through ball in the box. Shot, goal! Full credit to Melvin Boateng with a pretty assist as the Tropics make it 2-0. Kazuki Ohara is the recipient of the pretty pass from Boateng. And in the 23rd minute, the Tropics SC have taken a 2-0 lead. Nice unselfish play by Boateng. Yeagus almost on the takeaway there. Clay County, though, has had some chances, so certainly do not want to hang their heads here just 24 minutes in. Mike on Franca with it. He's got some space to operate here. Now Clay County closes in, but Franca still with control. Gets it back to Pereiras. Back on top to Crane. Franca tried to find Diegas at the penalty spot, couldn't do it. Boateng will reset the offense here as the Swan City Syndicate sets off their second smoke celebration of the night on the far sideline. Maybe a couple of more smoke canisters to come here. Franca down in the left corner to Crane. Crane a serve into the box. Boring will let it go out of play. So Boateng now with a goal and an assist on this young season. And the Tropics SC will counter here one more time with Garrettson Crane in possession. Franca, who had that nice defensive play a couple of minutes ago with it at the midfield. Prestridge got a foot in there and almost a counter for Clay County, but Hector Vega will pick it up now at the midfield line. Driven into the Florida end of the field and a little too far for Clay County to counter, so be a goal kick here for Silva.
I can't even see where our numbers are from this. It's just a black outline.
This is the first of 5 straight home games for the Tropics. As we said, they will be home next Wednesday. Big matchup against the Aztecs of St. Petersburg. So hope you can join us out here at Lake Myrtle. If not, you catch the game online. All 8 of the Tropics SC home games will be streamed live online this season. So we're glad to have you tonight. A shot by Diegas and a good save by Boring as he just did get a hand on it. Best save of the night for Maverick Boring. That's a nickname, or if his mother looked at him and said, boy, this kid's going to be a Maverick. But Maverick Boring has been a busy boy. We know that tonight. We'll direct a little traffic in front here on the goal. Corner kick, rather. 27th minute now. 2-0 Tropics. Pereira serves it in. Headed out of there by Clay County. Uh, 23. Ohana. Chance and a shot in front, and that will not count. I guess it will. Thought the referee was going to wave it off for a second, but it will go. And the Tropics have taken a 3-0 lead. Not sure who will get credit for that one. We'll have to double check. It's kind of a scramble in front. But it ends up in the back of the Clay County net, and it is a 3-0 Tropics lead. If it was Ricardo, that's his second of the night. Can tell Andrew Clare is Matt Clare's brother. They are cut out of the same cloth, and it is soccer cloth to be certain, because their father John played for the Fort Lauderdale team in the NASL, the Strikers. So they come by their soccer talents naturally and honestly. Got that rangy size, especially effective in the box defensively when might need to head one out of there. Here's Boateng countering now for Florida. Gets it over to Pereiras. Pereiras looks, fires, and partially deflected by Connor Davis, but it'll be a goal kick, I guess, for Clay County. So Davis apparently did not get a foot on it, and Pereiras just missed it wide that time.
So on the app, there's no score time. Do you want me to? I mean, you can if you want to.
Just starting the 30th minute here. Maverick will send it across the midfield line. Boateng gets up to get possession here for the Tropics. And Crane will control it now here on the near sideline. In the middle to Franca. Mike on Franca gets by Jaron Cintron, number 7, but then loses it. Taken back, though, by the Tropics one more time. Boateng on the counter here. He's got Victor wide open on the far side. And Boateng finds him, leaves it off for Crane now. Crane back on top to Mike on Franca. Franca thought about it from distance. Melvin Boateng will fire, and he misses it wide left. Well, so far so good here on opening night for the Tropics SC. Whistle and a foul on Boateng as he climbed the ladder a little too aggressively there to try and win the 50-50 ball. Long ball looking for Ammon in the box, goes too far. Diegas with a header, but it'll go out of play. Heads up, got 2 balls out there, guys. All right, we're good now. Throw in that comes to Ammon, leaves it off for Cintron. Now this is Corey Burns with it. Burns has it knocked away, and the Tropics will control here on the counter. Swung wide on the left wing to Pereiras. Pereiras feeds it ahead to Diegas, but a little too far away from Ricky, who was making a run down the middle of the box, and Victor served it to the left-hand side, and it was an easy play for Boring to come out and break up that chance. Cintron with it at the midfield line, being watched by both Pereiras and Corey Bright, number 14. Tropics will take it away now. Comes ahead to Pereiras, and now on the left wing to Bright, right back to Victor. Center of the field to Maicon Franca. Maicon with a couple of goals this year for the Florida Tropics in limited time. I think he's played about 10 or 12 games this year. Probably more than he was anticipating with all the injuries. Many thanks to Devoted Health Plans, the title sponsor for the Tropics SC here for the outdoor season. Got a table set up here tonight to give out information on their health plan programs. Just entered the Florida market here in the last year or so. And great to have them aboard as a title sponsor this summer. Correspond Clinic, the longtime title sponsor of all the Tropics soccer's teams. Oh, there's a heavy takedown, and that's, I'm sure, going to be a yellow, and it is. Will go against Ricky Prestridge. So Prestridge with a yellow here in the 34th minute. And this is kind of a dangerous spot here for a free kick. This is a spot where Guilherme would come in handy perhaps later in the season. Actually, this is out a little farther than I thought.
You guys playing at halftime?
They will serve it into the box here, but Diegues, let's see if he can get open far post again like they tried last time. This time it's a little short, and Clay County able to clear it out of there. Clay County had seen that one before and had Diegues pretty well covered. Ricardo just missed a redirect on a restart similar to that earlier in the half. Still will have to be careful on that one. As it took a pretty high bounce off the hard turf here. I've not had a lot of rain in Central Florida in the last month or so. Not quite as hard as the artificial surface at the RP Funding Center, I can assure you, but still a pretty hard field, sun-baked to be sure.
This is not merely a slogan, but a guarantee to every customer of Everett Whitehead Sunny.
36th minute now. So we got about 9 minutes left, and then whatever we have in stoppage time, which I don't think will be much. Here's one of the goal scorers, Ojeda. Gets it on the left wing to Crane again. Crane with a cross in front, cleared away. Ojeda will track it down. Gives it to Franca. Over to Boateng now. It's Boateng and Ojeda who worked their magic on the Tropics' second goal. Here's a little layoff. Shot and a goal! Diegues again. This time from the right wing. At least his second of the night. It might be his third. We'll have to double check because we're not quite sure who got that goal. Credit for that goal on the scrum in front of the Clay County net a little bit ago. But Diegues in the 37th minute makes it a 4-0 score here. So it looks for all the world like it'll be a happy opening night here in Auburndale. As Ricardo Diegues picking up outdoors where he left off during the indoor season. Again, a long ball to Hugo, and make sure he stays in front of it this time. Ojeda leaves it for Franca now. Franca being watched in there by Corey Burns. Does a nice job to get away from Burns. Crane will collect it. Right back to Garrettson Crane. Back on top to Corey Bright. Like the Tropics kits tonight, the orange tops and the gray shorts. This is the first time we've seen that look for many of the Tropics teams over the years. Bit have done a little better job on the numbers for the announcer, however, because they're a little difficult to pick up. Diegas at the top of the box, almost with a chance to get another one, but it was taken off his foot at the last second. 38th minute, almost the 39th minute coming up now. Tropics SC 4, Clay County still scoreless. Hugo Silva is early, but looking for a second straight clean sheet. Clay County has had some chances, especially early. Long ball looking for Braden Ammon was too far. But after a couple of those chances, it's been pretty much all Tropics SC since over the last 10 or 12 minutes. And they have cashed 3 of those chances after the two sides played it even after the early goal by Ricardo. Monolaris with a slide to try and keep possession. Instead, it'll be Ammon trying to track it down here for Clay County, and he will run out of space. Good hustle by Ammon to try and keep it alive, but just not enough green grass in front of him to get possession. I can tell you that the Tropics play in the UPSL Pro Premier Florida Central West Division. 8 teams in the division this year. As we said, the Tropics, technically the only team without a loss, or the only undefeated team, I should say. There's a shot from distance by Franca. They're 1-0. St. Petersburg is actually 2-0-1 on the season. And they will be here Wednesday night. But the only team without a blemish so far is Boateng. Tees it up from long range and sends it halfway to Kathleen. St. Petersburg, as we said, with that 2-0-1 mark with 7 points. Sporting Orlando also with 7 points. They've played 4 games. They are 2-1-1. Hurricane FC at 2-0-1 as well with 7 points. So still 3 teams technically without losses in the division. St. Petersburg, Hurricane, and of course the Tropics. Clay County plays in the Florida Central East Division of the UPSL Pro Premier Southeast Conference. Several of the teams in the Florida Central East Division will be future opponents here for the Tropics, including the Jacksonville Armada, the Maca Ballers FC, OFC Baraka, and the division leaders, AZ Soccer International. They, in fact, undefeated at 3-0-0. Tropics with a 12-game schedule this year, 8 of them here at Lake Myrtle. Bright pushes it ahead. Ferris will pick up the loose ball now as we head into the 42nd minute. Boateng will have a little room to operate. Left side to Ojeda, and he's taken down. Don't know if that's going to be a yellow. I don't think so. Pretty hard tackle, but Ojeda, I think, is going to be all right. As we said, the UPSL was actually founded in 2011. Already grown to more than 300 teams nationally, expecting 400 plus teams by the 2019-20 season next year. Each team, of course, individually owned and operated. The Tropics SC under the Tropics Soccer Club umbrella, which includes the Florida Tropics of the Major Arena Soccer League, the Lakeland Tropics of USL League 2, of course the Lakeland Youth FC Football Club of the Lakeland Tropics FC now, Cleared out of there nicely. Good defensive play by Jaron Cintron. Denied a Tropics scoring chance there. UPSL teams are eligible to qualify for the U.S. Open Cup, although I don't believe they have any that did qualify this year, but they can go through the qualifying rounds based on the league's affiliation with the U.S. Soccer Federation. It's a little different than League Two, which can get automatic berths like the Lakeland Tropics have the last couple of years. Here's shot on top by Franca, and that's blocked. Crane trying to pick it up as we're in the 44th minute here. Just a couple of minutes of regulation left before we go to the half. Of course, you can get all the information you want, standings and schedules and team information at www.upslsoccer.com. And as we mentioned, news of the Tropics SC will be available on all the Tropics social media sites, especially the Tropics SC Facebook page and fltropics.com during the summer months. I mentioned that St. Petersburg leads the Tropics division, Sporting Orlando second, Hurricane FC third, Inter United Academy, the Institute FC, Inter Orlando Academy, and Sports Paradise Soccer Academy behind the Tropics, who right now are in fourth with their 3 points. A win tonight obviously would boost them close to the top of the table. Franca tries an intercept here. Good counter chance for Clay County as Ammon brings it down the right wing. Ammon with some space, gets it into the middle. There's a shot, and that goes well high and wide. Cody Burns with the best look that Clay County has had in a few minutes. Comes in the 45th minute here. And I guess we're not going to even get any stoppage time. So we hit the 45-minute mark, and the whistle goes to send us to intermission here at Lake Myrtle. So we will step aside for a few minutes, let everyone catch a break and catch a cold beverage or two. We'll check on that third Tropics goal to make sure we know who got it for you, and be back with second half action in just a few minutes. Hope you're enjoying the show tonight from Lake Myrtle Sports Park. It's Tropics SC Soccer. It is the Tropics 4, Clay County SC. No score, back in just a few minutes.
We're gonna find a way to change the time on the counter. Like our goals.
where they train. It's like a training spot for teams. It's kind of
Just underway here to start the second half at the Lake Myrtle Sports Complex. And can update you on the 4 Tropics goals in the first 45 minutes. As we knew, Ricardo Diegues opened and closed the scoring. And in between, we knew that it was Ojeda who got one of the goals, but the goal on the scrum in front of the Clay County net was credited to Victor Pereiras, not Diegues, but I guess kind of the next best thing behind Ricardo. So Victor gets his first of the year, and Ojeda his first on that pretty feed from Melvin Boateng. So it is 4-0 Tropics and Clay County here to open the second half. So Diegues with a pair, Victor Pereiras with one, and Ojeda with one. See if we get any changes here going forward for the Tropics. Don't think we had any substitutes at halftime. Leonard Machado still in there, number 4 here. Ojeda still in. In fact, that is Leonard Machado with the ball. Now served into the box, broken up as Ojeda leaves it for Bright. Now Bright with a shot right on, and Boring makes the save. If the name Machado sounds familiar to Tropics fans, it should. Leonard Machado, the brother of Fernando Machado, who made his debut with the MASL Indoor Florida Tropics this year. Played some last year for the Lakeland Tropics as well outdoors, and Fernando with a leg injury during the indoor season just as he was really starting to hit his stride, and has been out since and was just on the verge of returning. And wouldn't you know it, a few nights ago, right at the very, very tail end of practice, re-injured the same knee and is out again for about another 2 months. So tough break for Fernando, but Leonard Machado, the brother, is part of the Tropics here as we have a offsides call against the Tropics.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah, I say, man, like that Pascal was like knocking him down, which is good.
One of the Tropics players that we haven't talked a lot about tonight that was out there at the midfield area and continues to play there is Pascal Mien. Should be a name familiar to local soccer fans, certainly here in the Auburndale area. It was Mien who really helped put the Auburndale Bloodhounds on the map in a soccer sense back in 2005, leading Auburndale to a state soccer championship, their first in a string of several. In fact, the Bloodhounds just won their most recent outdoor high school soccer state championship this spring. But it was Mien who really was one of the key players on that 2005 Auburndale team that won the school's first state soccer championship. Mien, a native of Haiti, but moved here to the Lakeland area as a teenager and actually played 3 full seasons at Auburndale, scored 114 goals in his 3 years with the Bloodhounds. Was named the Gatorade Player of the Year for Auburndale's class that year in 2005. Played a year of college soccer up in Kentucky, but played most of his college soccer at the University of Tampa. Played 3 years for the Spartans there and had a lot of success as well. Led Tampa to the Division II 2000 and Final Four in 2008, and he's played literally all over the world professionally. 4 seasons total professionally here in the state. This is Bright with it. Collision down low, but Clay County will get possession, but then taken right back by the Tropics. Chance in the box now down low, but it'll roll to Maverick Boring, the Clay County goaltender, and a chance for Clay County here on a counter. On a 3-on-3 situation. Tried to get it pushed through the box, but good defensive play there to deny a chance. Millian spent 2 years with the Tampa Bay Rowdies. That was in 2010-2011 when they were technically known as FC Tampa. Here's Clay County with a chance and a block again defensively by Montoleros. So it'll be a corner kick upcoming now for Clay County. I believe their first of the night. And then Millian went overseas to play some and then came back and signed for 2 years with the Jacksonville Armada of the NASL. And now finding his way back home, if you will, playing literally in his backyard. Auburndale High School, not more than 3 or 4 mile drive from the Lake Myrtle Sports Complex. So nice to have Pascal part of the Tropics SC launch here in 2019. Wears number 13. I'll have to ask him about that sometime. One of those athletes that wears that, unlucky to some at least, number 13. Got one of our youth soccer players right next to us who says he wears number 13, so there you go. Guess it's not such a bad number after all. Here's one of the goal scorers, Ojeda. Tries to feed a through ball to Boateng, who stays on his feet. Boateng with it. Side of the box, tried a little step over move, but good defense by Clay County there to knock it away from Melvin. So we hit the 53rd minute now. Did have one substitute apparently in half because I don't see Ricardo Diegas out here on the pitch for the second half. So this night may have come to a close at halftime as there's a shot and a good save. By Boring. So no Diegas here in the second half. Of course, part of the reason for that, I'm sure, is he will be playing tomorrow night, finishing up the indoor season in Orlando. So have to see if Victor is out there as well. Don't believe he is either, as he too will be suited up for the Florida Tropics in their MASL season finale tomorrow. And things fairly well in hand here with a 4-0 lead right now. Boateng with a little spin move, but he'll get it back out. There's Pascal. Millian still in the game. Going to be celebrating a birthday here the first week of May. Run into the box in front, but nobody there for the Tropics, and Prestridge will temporarily at least get it out of the zone. Now Cintron feeds it ahead, and Clay County will counter again. Good recovery downfield by Millian to at least temporarily break that up. Now here's a chance in front, and broken up there by the Tropics. Good defensive stand right there as Montoleros, who is still in there, helped to break that one up. So Montoleros, the only MASL regular that is still in the game at this point for the Tropics. Millian will track this one down at the midfield line. This is Machado with it, feeds it into the box. Pressure again here by the Tropics. But it'll go over the end line. It'll be a goal kick here for Boring. Ojeda, the goal scorer for the Tropics in the first half, played his college ball at St. Leo University. It's been a popular breeding ground for Tropics players. I know Melvin Boateng played at St. Leo as well. Also played for the University of Akron to start his college career back in the 2013-14 season. Played in the NPSL for AFC Cleveland back in 2013 as well. Says his favorite soccer player is Lionel Messi, and that is probably a popular answer for a lot of players here tonight. Barcelona, his favorite team. Saw him play last year some with the Kickers FC. Very talented player.
I never said you would see a picture of her. Yeah, you should. Yeah, that's in front of that wall. The green wall behind. Really? Wow.
Ball into the box, too tall for everyone.
Did you ever play at Texas Park? That's where have you ever run the
59th minute here at Lake Myrtle.
Twilight thing for the park?
Ricardo Dieguez with a goal in the 5th minute to get the ball rolling here in the UPSL home opener for the Tropics SC. Got a second later in the half, and singles by Victor Pereiras and Ojeda, and that's where we stand at 4-0. Machado played his college soccer, as did his brother out at Oklahoma Wesleyan. It is an NAIA soccer powerhouse. He played, I believe, the full 90 up in Disney a couple of weeks ago as well. They are natives of Sao Paulo, Brazil. In fact, he and his brother playing together out at Oklahoma Wesleyan had kind of a neat trick, as they were named the league's soccer player of the week for the same week back in September of 2015. Fernando for offense and Leonard for defense. But as we mentioned in the First 45, it'll be a bit before we see Leonard again. Here's a shot, and Boring makes a nice save as he gets down low on the try there. Silva going to come well off his line here to make sure there's no scoring chance for Clay County, and Tropics will slow it down now as Monolaris gets it over to Machado, number 4. Monolaris with some pressure by William Marcall. But Marcall couldn't come out of there with it. Now Monolaris a little bit shaken up here. It must be a cramp or a thigh injury or a quad injury here. That is not something that the Tropics want to see. And Machado will help Lucas back to his feet. He'll stay in the game, at least for the moment, but might be a good time for perhaps Coach Lucas Teixeira to think about a substitute here for the final 30 minutes. We'll see. Don't know if the plan is to dress Monolaris tonight. There's a shot, good save in front by Boring, loose ball again. And Franca will track it down. Tried to do a little give and go with Machado, but wasn't successful. It's a long ball for Marcall again. Being watched by Monolaris. Godfrey will pick it up now for Clay County. Gets his pocket picked, and then foul is called. Diego Pantuza in the ball game, number 8 for the Tropics. Hit the deck there for just a moment. No goals here in the second half so far. In the end with it. Tropics are right back at it here Wednesday night against the St. Petersburg Aztecs. That is potentially an early season showdown for first place in the division. Tropics with a win here tonight would improve to 2-0 with 6 points on the young season. Through ball and a whistle and a penalty, or rather a foul called against the Tropics. St. Petersburg at 2-0-1 with 7 points, so depending on the outcome of the results in other games this weekend, the match here Wednesday night could be for first place early on in the division. This is the first of 5 straight at home. Of course, towards the tail end of that is the May 7th U.S. Open Cup date here at Lake Myrtle with the Lakeland Tropics team hosting the Villages. First ever U.S. Open Cup game in Polk County. Tournament's been around for 105 years. The generally considered the national championship tournament of soccer in the United States. Only 84 teams across the country, as we do have some subs into the game now. As I said, only 84 teams actually playing in the U.S. Open Cup, and only probably 3 dozen or so cities in the U.S. will get the opportunity to host the U.S. Open Cup game, and Auburndale will be one of those cities. So hope to see you out here on May 7th. That's Nicholas Mesh in the game, number 20, one of the substitutes. Again, homegrown talent, played his high school soccer at McKeel Academy. Came on as a sub at about this point of the game on the 27th in that 2-0 win over the Institute FC. which was the only game so far this season for the Tropics. Clay County, as we mentioned, also playing in just their second game.
Yeah, that's a weird thing about it. Exactly. Right.
Yeah, there's a shot in the 5th goal for the Tropics. First goal of the second half. And that'll run it to 5-0 here. It was Xavier Silva getting the goal, brother of Hugo Silva, the goalkeeper. So Silva gets his first of the year.
Xavier Silva.
So he's matched his brother now, because his brother had one in the indoor game against Milwaukee, of all teams. Team that could very well win it all in the MASL this year. Hugo let fly from about 65 feet out and found the back of the net in that Milwaukee game.
20s Nick, somebody.
Mesh. That one just misses wide. So the Silva brothers tied at 1 apiece now in goals in 2019. Hugo with 1 indoors and his brother Xavier with the outdoor marker. His first of the year. Xavier played his college soccer at Florida Gulf Coast University. We get a goaltending change here for Clay County. Into the 69th minute here. Xavier had a pretty good career at Gulf Coast, Florida Gulf Coast, had 24 points, 10th most in the program's history at that point. Had 5 game-winning goals. So he made a lot of his markers really count for FGCU. Just a miss, but was touched by Clay County, so it'll be Tropics' first corner kick of the second half. Actually played his high school ball at North Broward Prep High School, playing for Diego Cardona there. That long cross corralled by Adam Minio, who is now into the game for Clay County. I have to double check on the relationship between Xavier and Hugo. I thought they were brothers. Maybe cousins. I'll double check that and get back to you Wednesday night with the official word. But it counts as the Tropics' 5th, regardless of his relationship. If it's brother or cousin or distant shirt-tail relative in goal looking for a second straight clean sheet. If he plays tomorrow night in Orlando, I'm pretty sure it won't be a clean sheet then, but he earned the Tropics MVP award this season for sure. Just an injury-riddled indoor campaign. Hugo was banged up himself. Not a lot of fans really knew that as he answered the bell game in and game out, but had a knee situation during the middle of the season. Actually left one of the games for a few minutes with that knee. Got an injured Clay County player down. I think that's William Marcall.
They make really nice jerseys. In Minneapolis City, I got these two when I bought one.
Going to call for the trainer to come on here. So some dates to remember for Tropics fans. Next Wednesday here at Lake Myrtle, the Aztecs of St. Petersburg in for a first place showdown. Of course, tomorrow night, I saw a few fans here tonight already that will be making the trip to Silver Spurs Arena in Kissimmee tomorrow evening, as I will be as well. On that broadcast on masltv.com. Season finale for both the Seawolves and the Tropics. Then the Tropics SC here Wednesday. The U.S. Open Cup date, make sure you mark that date, save it. Come on out here to Lake Myrtle on May 7th against the Villages SC. And then the home opener for the Lakeland Tropics, the USL League 2 Outdoor Tropics franchise, starting its third season at Bryant Stadium. That will be against the new expansion team, Daytona, in the USL League 2. And that is Friday, May 11th at Bryant Stadium. A Saturday night, 7 o'clock kickoff at that historic venue. Be fun to see some new teams in USL League 2 this year, and Daytona SC, who will play in the 10,000-seat Daytona Municipal Stadium, joining here in 2019, and we'll get our first look at Daytona on the 11th. So those are some of the major important dates coming up in Tropics soccer. Of course, all 8 games here for the Tropics SC will be streamed live for our fans' enjoyment if they can't make it out to the game. And as they say, check your local listings for the USL League 2 streaming schedule. We'll still shore that up here in the coming weeks as Coach Owen Conlon gets that roster finalized. Though he's got a number of NCAA Division I college talents on board and some others as well. Of course, unfortunately, Juan Tejada will not be back with the Tropics this year, but for all the right reasons. Juan signing with the Tampa Bay Rowdies before the Rowdies opened their season and has played some for Tampa Bay. And that is very exciting news for Tropics fans. That's what USL League 2 and here the NPSL is all about, developing young talent to move to the next level, whether it's within the organization or with someone else. And right now for the Tropics, there is no other outdoor level, so their best players, as here's a break now for Clay County. Shot Silva with a save, rebound, and it's knocked out of play. Hugo with his best effort of the night. Comes in the 75th minute. And certainly don't want to look very far ahead in the U.S. Open Cup, but should the Tropics pick up a win on May 7th, not out of the realm of possibility at all that their second round opponent could in fact be the Tampa Bay Rowdies. And wouldn't that be fun? Chance to play against Juan and the Rowdies. Don't know if that game would be here or over in St. Petersburg, but that would be a whole lot of fun if the Tropics can get by the Villages first and foremost on the 7th. Final 15 minutes here from Lake Myrtle tonight, 5-0. Ricardo Dieguez with 2, Victor Pereiras, Ojeda, and Silva with Singleton. Silva's the only goal here in the second half. Tropics substituting in a number of the reserves here, either at halftime or midway through this half. Nicholas Mesh will track it down. Trying to introduce some of the Tropics players to the fans here that might not be familiar with some of the outdoor stars. Here's a through ball, but good read by Minio to scoop it up before any of the Tropics forwards could get there. As we said, Mesh was a key member of the McKeel Academy Wildcats. Chase Hovius, another Auburndale star soccer player, played some for the Bloodhounds and also some academy teams while he was in high school, and played his college ball up at Liberty, member of the Lakeland Tropics first couple of years. Nicholas also a pretty good golfer and baseball player. Lettered all 4 years at McKeel in all 3 sports. He got some time up at Disney as well in the second half in that 2-0 win over the Institute FC as Maicon Franca tries to start a counter. Nick's favorite soccer team, Manchester United, another popular choice. He's going to take it now from Franca.
I'm honestly more excited for the USL
What's the high school song?
Here's Mesh with it. Got Franca with him. Gives it off to Maicon. Long shot launched from the top of the box, well high and wide. Just a little better than 10 minutes left to play here. Don't think we'll have much, if any, stoppage time, as Clay County will fall to 0-2 on the young campaign, and as Pascal Millien comes out of the game here for the final 10. Tropics will improve to 2-0. Big game here Wednesday, so we'll see how that plays out. to St. Petersburg in town. Some quality opponents here at Lake Myrtle. League AZ International 3-0. They are not in the Tropics division, but they lead the division that Clay County is in. The Central East Florida portion of the UPSL Pro Premier Southeastern Conference. Tropics in the Central West. Long ball into the box, and Minio will track that one. Ice cream for everybody if the Tropics win, right? I'm going with the fan sitting next to us here. That'll be good on a hot summer's night here in Auburndale. Actually, a beautiful night for soccer. It's a nice breeze and just very comfortable evening. And the Tropics fans will go home with smiles on their face and some of them with ice cream in their bellies. Sounds like a good deal to me. Hugo Silva has also taken a seat now. George Navarrete in. Played his high school soccer up in Plant City. All those players, Pereiras, Silva, Diegas, as far as we know, will be playing tomorrow night in Orlando. So taking a blow here in the second half certainly makes sense. Lucas Teixeira will not be dressing tomorrow night as he continues to try and work through a leg injury that really hampered him almost all season long. He played in less than half the Tropics indoor games. But we'll move to 2-0 in his young coaching career. Chance here again for the Tropics, and that will be tackled over the end line for a corner kick now.
Because we've done that before.
Tropics with 5 goals tonight, but really none on set pieces per se. Yeah, headed out of there. Good defensive effort by Andy Prestridge. A couple of Prestridges on the roster. So I'm assuming they may have some bloodlines together. Ricky 10 and Andy 8. Franca will collect the goal kick, and here's a counter chance again for Florida. Winding down here, final 5 minutes, as that comes all the way through to Minio. He will give it a big boot. Braden Ammon trying to track it down on the far side, can't get there, but he will get the throw in. Melvin Boateng also resting here in the second half. He may in fact dress tomorrow night for the Florida Tropics. Don't know for sure. It will be the season finale against the Seawolves at Silver Spurs Arena. So if you're in the area and want to catch some professional indoor soccer, tomorrow night's your last chance for a while, because that is the final game of the regular season, and neither the Florida Tropics or the Seawolves have qualified for the MASL playoffs. So, but expect a fairly entertaining and physical game tomorrow night. So Ricardo Dieguez got things started for the Tropics just 5 minutes in the night, and it's pretty much been all Tropics SC since.
Bro, you gotta be more comfortable than that.
Dieguez added a second near the end of the first half, and in between goals by Ojeda and Victor Pereras. Gave the Tropics SC a 4-0 lead at intermission. And just the one goal by Xavier Silva here in the second half, with just a little better than 3 minutes to go, and that's where we stand 5-0. Hugo Silva and George Navarrete hopefully going to combine here on the clean sheet. Be the Tropics' second consecutive shutout to start the season. Hope to see you here Wednesday night. Next time the Tropics SC will be in action. Second of 5 consecutive home games to kick things off here in the UPSL. Been a good start.
You always want a celebration when we have a big win like this.
Yes.
Syndrome.
Franca will collect the loose ball here.
Oh, looking forward to
One last push, perhaps forward, to see if the Tropics can get a 6th. Mesh will get it back on top now for Diego Pantuza, number 8. Pantuza gave it up to the left side of the box for the shot that goes high and wide. Final couple minutes here from Lake Myrtle. Been a nice start to the season. Good crowd here tonight. Probably 600 or 700 fans turning out for the UPSL opener, which has been fun for them to watch Dieguez and the boys bring home a winner. Taking a look at the rest of those games on the homestand, Tropics will be here on Tuesday, April 23rd against Sporting Orlando. Then Friday, the next Friday night game 2 weeks from tonight on the 26th. And that will be against Inter Orlando Academy. And then finally the 5th and last game of the homestand coming on May 3rd, another Friday night, against Maca Ballers FC. Tropics don't hit the road again until May 12th when they head to Jacksonville to take on the Armada, and stay on the road then on May 17th against League AZ Soccer International. So that's the upcoming slate here, as Clay County will try one last time here in the 90th minute for a goal, and Navarrete will say no, sir. I think it was going wide, but just going to make sure about that one. We are just in a little bit of extra stoppage time here. Can't be more than, I wouldn't think, a minute or two. Ball at the top of the box. In front by Bright, but collected by Minio, and I believe that will be the final whistle, and it is. And the Tropics come home winners here tonight in their home opener for the 2019 spring UPSL season. The final, once again, the Tropics SC 5, Clay County 0, second straight shutout win for the Tropics. Ricardo Diegues with 2 goals, Victor Pereiras, Kazuki Ohada, and Xavier Silva with the singletons. We will talk to you next Wednesday when the St. Petersburg Aztecs FC will be in town. An early season showdown for first place in the division. So we hope we will see you out here at Lake Myrtle, and if you can't make the game, we will stream live once again next Wednesday night. Until then, have a great week, everybody.